Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to Today in Bitcoin. Today is July 23rd, 2017. Buy and hold. Get rich by desiring little. All right. So we have Rocky Palumbo back on the show. He's making a reappearance. Everyone loves him. He talked about Asicboost last time. He's actually going to talk a little bit about that again because something just came up in a video I watched. But he's going to talk about brain wallets and just what's going on today in the world. So Rocky's coming live from Southern California. Rocky, welcome to the show. Tell us what's up.
Thanks for having me back, Adam. And also, congratulations on your 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to have you back on, and I'm glad to be on this side of 10,000. So we were talking about brain wallets, actually. You brought it up to me, this subject, and this is a subject I have never talked about on this show before, but it's kind of helpful in this day and age. So get into some storage stuff here that people always want to hear about that.
Yes, well, you know, with the August 1st date coming up, and even right now, it could be a bit of a problem to transfer Bitcoin now. You definitely want to wait for extra confirmations where you would normally wait for maybe 1 or 2. You want to wait for about 6 or 7 right now. But it's never a good idea to store long-term your Bitcoin on any kind of online wallet or online exchange. Only on the exchanges when you buy it, and or if you're trading it, what you absolutely have to have there you could have, but rest of it you got to pull off, people. Pull your Bitcoin off, all that you can. And so with the big August 1st date coming up, there's been a run on the hardware wallets, and so people can't get these. They're on back order, and they can't get them in time for the August 1st date. So an option would be to create a brain wallet and store it there temporarily until your hardware wallet comes in.
Okay, so explain to us what a brain wallet is then.
Well, it's kind of like, I'm going to show you a website here in a minute that allows you to create a Bitcoin address and private key with just like one passphrase. So you have to remember that passphrase. So that's where the brain comes in. It's not good to write this down because anybody who comes across this piece of paper with your passphrase on it now owns your Bitcoin. So you're supposed to keep this in your brain. But I do have a way of getting around that where you can write something down that will majorly help you recreate your phrase because you want this phrase to be quite long. So if it's quite long and you're holding it for 2 or 3 weeks, you might be able to remember it. But some people, if your hardware wallet is postponed in being shipped to you, that 2 or 3 weeks might turn into 2 or 3 months. Now, are you going to remember that phrase? This is a good way to back it up, and you could write it down. You could put this piece of paper all over your house. You don't have to worry about who finds it. You could email it to yourself. It's going to be great.
Okay. So let's see. Let's see what you got here.
Okay, let me do a share screen here. So you're seeing the coin dance, right? Screen?
Yes.
Oh, yes. This is the screen I just briefly mentioned. You talking about all the females you're meeting there in Australia. And I think at one point when you were in Perth, you said it was about 15% of the people you were talking to about Bitcoin were females. And that's quite a high percentage because on this website, they do track the Bitcoin engagement by gender. And if you click on this, you get a bigger pie chart, and you could see that it's actually 2.84% of people engaging in Bitcoin is female. So you're really bringing them out. You're the ladies' man over there in Australia.
Interesting. I wonder how they measure these guys, because that's I mean, I thought it was around 5% beforehand. Well, I don't know how.
Google Analytics. So I believe it's like when you log into your Google account and start doing searches, they have some information about you, like gender, age, maybe your location, if you let the website see your location. So they can break that down by using that.
Okay. So all right. So let's very interesting. Very interesting there. The female numbers are low on that end here in Australia. From what I see, hey, I think it's growing. I think females are getting more interested. My numbers again on my videos now are up to like 7% women watching. So, and it was only 5%. So, well, I mean, how's the attendance at your group, by the way, in Southern California? Is that still overwhelming men still?
Overwhelming, yes, but sometimes we'll usually have one or two. I think the biggest turnout with females was 3, I believe, maybe 4.
Okay. All right. So let's brain wallet this up and talk about your stuff. Yeah, your
Okay, so here's the website you need to go to. You could download this website by clicking here. We'll take you to their hub, which will take you here, where you could click here to download. And so now what you need to do is download this and put it on a flash drive. Because you need to get this to a cold computer. Obviously, this computer is hot because I'm connected to you on the internet, and so it's connected. That's considered a hot computer for those people who don't know. A cold computer is a computer that boots up and has never seen the internet and never will. So it can't have any virus and it can't be hacked, through the internet because it's cold. It's not connected to the internet. So once you get that on the flash drive, you then want to get yourself an operating system. There's lots to choose from. I like using Ubuntu, and you can download this operating system and use this program called Win32 Disk Imager to write this to another USB drive. Now, once you have this USB drive, you can now reboot your computer. And when you reboot your computer, you immediately want to start pressing the F12 key, which will bring up a boot menu, which will allow you to tell your computer to not boot from your normal hard drive. You want to boot from the USB drive. So once you boot from the USB drive, you will be looking at a screen that looks something like this, but will allow you to install this Ubuntu Mate. I like the Mate just because they kind of take a bunch of features out of it to kind of slim it down, and you don't need like all the main features that make it very Windows-like. You just need the basics to do this. So instead of installing it, instead of taking this feature here, you want to try Ubuntu Mate without installing. So this allows you to run it right from that USB drive. So once you do that, you go through the install process, and this goes by pretty quick. And you will then get to a screen like this, where you can you could close this window here when you get there, and here is the browser you'll be using. But now you stick in your second USB drive that has the website that you downloaded on it, and another folder like this will pop up for that USB drive. Now you open that up and you'll see that website that you downloaded. You just double click the file in that folder that ends with HTML, and that will run the website, and you will be here. The web page, I should say. It's because you're not going to their site. You're just running it off your USB drive on a cold computer that's not connected to the internet. So now, once you get here, let me reload this because it does start up a little odd. Let me refresh this page, and it should start up. Okay, so you get this page, and you see this counter over here. And what this is doing by moving this mouse around, it's leaving these little dots around, and you can never, it's impossible to do this and leave these dots in the exact same place twice. And what this is doing is it's randomizing the random number generator in here so that it can't create the same random numbers over and over again. Computers are really bad at doing random. You have to randomize the random number generator. That's a whole nother thing, but they've always been like that. So now once it starts up, after you randomize the random number generator, you can click on Brain Wallets over here, and you can now type in your passphrase. So this could be anything you like, This is a test, and it can't be too short, so you got to make it a little bit long. This is only a test. So now if you view this, now here you just created what looks like you could print this and make it a paper wallet. This is what your typical paper wallet would look like. And you have your Bitcoin address where you would send funds to this address, and you have your private key where you would be able to spend those funds. And like a paper wallet, you only want to spend funds from here once. So you could add one Bitcoin, add one Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin. Now you have 3 Bitcoins on here. You don't want to pull off 1 or 2. You want to pull off all 3 at a time. So it's just kind of for long-term storage. It's not like a wallet, the everyday wallet you want to use. And I could tell you why that is, but that would start to get pretty technical and kind of off on a tangent. But so anyway, you only spend once. So now here's the phrase that we were talking about that you have to remember, and you don't want to make it some phrase like this. You don't want to make it you know, some common quote, because people come in here and they write bots that will type things in here randomly and check to see if there's any funds there. So you don't want to make it like some famous quote or really any kind of coherent sentence. And you actually, it would be good to stay away from words that are in the dictionary, and you want to make it as long as possible. Because what you could do is you could take this, highlight this address and copy it. Copy this and then go to a blockchain explorer and paste it in, and you could check to see if that address has been used, and you can see it hasn't. That doesn't mean it's safe. That just means it hasn't been used yet. But anybody who comes in here and runs some bot that puts random things in here and puts common phrases and common words from the dictionary in here can't be trying to brute force your passphrase. So you got to get away from that. So how do you get away from that? Is you want this long and you want crazy stuff in here and kind of incoherent stuff. So that is what I'm going to be talking about actually at the next user group meetup, which is August 9th. And you're going to have my email and website address for the user group in the description, right?
Actually, it's already there. Rocky's information is below, including the last time he was on the show, actually, the video from that too. So we are prepared here.
Excellent. So now here would be an example of a passphrase. It looks pretty, just kind of random stuff and names and numbers and characters. So how did I get this? And you would never type this into your computer, ever, into a hot computer. You would only type this into your cold setup once you set that up. And now, how do you remember this? How do you save this? This is actually 4 different answers to 4 different questions. So here's what you would work out: pencil and paper. Not on a computer, pencil and paper. Pencil and paper can't be hacked through the internet. So you'd come up with 4 questions, and these are my 4 answers. And now you could type this into the computer looking like this. Your answer's just X'd out. So you know like how many characters it is maybe, but not the exact words that it is. You know, and anybody who knows me might know my high school sweetheart was Jennifer Aniston. Well, she wasn't. I didn't go to school with her, no. But I didn't want to use my high school sweetheart's real name because I actually do use this on some passwords in some places. So I don't want to give that information out. And my first car, make and model I've ever owned is not a Ford Mustang either. But so I just made up this information here. But you want to, again, try to keep to the names are good. Like you might want to put your mother's maiden name or your father's mother's maiden name, your mother's maiden name, your 6th grade teacher's name, your favorite inspiring teacher from high school or college, that name. Try to stick to names, and names that, you know, really no one would know if they found this piece of paper, but they're only going to find this because once you work it out like this and have the name in here, you could then type this into the computer with the X's. You could store this in Dropbox. I think it would be pretty safe to store there. You could email it to yourself. So then if you forgot what you wrote down, you could just go to your email and put it in your saved emails after you email it to yourself, and you could get this key back to get this back.
All right. I like this. Coding, it's good. You know the answers to the questions, but you don't have them written down. It's good. I like this. It's coding the code here. Coding your passphrase. Pound that like button, people. Pound that like button if you like using your brain like this to hide your passwords and make things safer. And by the way, if you're live with us in the chat now, you can ask legitimate questions, and Rocky will answer them, or I will. And so because I am looking at the chat here and now, which I I usually don't do. So pound that like button. All right.
One more thing about this.
Of course, please.
I mentioned several times that you want to stay away from words that are in the dictionary, you know, names and stuff like street names or city names. But also, this is not long enough. These 4 questions are not long enough. You really want to make this a minimum 5 or 6 questions. 7 or 8 questions, you know, it would be even, you know, better. And the more money you're storing and the longer you're storing it in the Brain Wallet, the more questions you want to have.
Now, I want to add something here because people seem to be a little confused in the chat. People are saying the Trezor is easier. Yes, of course the Trezor is easier, and of course you should have a Trezor, but they're sold out right now. He's giving an option so that you can do this without a Trezor because they're gone. I mean they're going to come back, but this is for people who need to move the stuff right now, and you should never keep. If you've waited this long, you've waited long. You should not keep your coins on an exchange. You should never do that anyway, no matter what the situation is. And Rocky said that. So again, people who are not watching this live are paying attention and see the progression of this. I guess some people in the chat are getting in a little late. So I wanted to put that out there.
Yes, he obviously missed the beginning of the show because, yeah, I did say that this you could use this for any circumstances, but with this August 1st date coming up and all these hardware wallets on back order right now, they might not come in time. And this is definitely a way to safely store your Bitcoin while you're waiting for your hardware wallet.
And I wanted to say, if you go to the link section below, you can get the digital BitBox still at cryptohwwallet.com. Use the Meister link and discount code and all that stuff. That is available if you want it. But again, he's giving you this is a free app. People ask me all the time, why don't you talk about more free things? Well, here he's talking about something that's free. So keep on going, Rocky. Keep on going.
I think that's it.
Oh, okay. So, and let me see if anyone's okay. No one seems to have any questions directly about what you said. All right. So no more elaboration. I mean, you've got the floor if you want to elaborate on that stuff anymore. You know, it's fine. Or we can just move on to the current events if you want to talk about that now.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, and thank you for that type of information. People, again, some of that might seem a little technical. What he just said, you can email him below. His email address is below. You can also email me, adam@trezorhelp.com. Pound that like button. And again, since it is a little technical, he said you can review this video, play it over and over again, and just catch the stuff, just in case you didn't catch everything the first time, because you don't have to watch this live, and it's only live once. So let's talk about. Well, first of all, all this FUD is in the air again. I mean, it seems like we had one good day with segregated witness. And then we have another day where out of China, they're trying to scare everybody onto their side. There's this, what's it even called? Bitcoin Cash thing that's going on. How do you feel about the current segregated witness situation and the direction we're going? And August 1st, do you sit for, how are you feeling about it? Just hard forking, what's going on in China? But you're in California, give us the Southern California vibe.
Well, it's really kind of funny to me because, BIP 141 came out, which is SegWit. It had a year to activate starting last November. The miners weren't activating it because, you know me, I think a big reason was because of Asicboost. And so the users came together and came up with BIP 148, which kind of forces activation starting August 1st. But then the miners come out with their own miner activation, which utilizes BIP 91, which forces the BIP 141 signaling even before BIP 148 forces it, even though that's not what they wanted. Are you following me?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
That's just crazy to me. I mean, they're saying we don't like SegWit, we don't like you forcing on us, so we're going to force it on ourselves even sooner. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, and it's gotten us into a situation where they're talking about this Bitcoin Cash, and we have some people out there who seem to, I guess, almost sympathize with the miners. And before we get into that and that video, which is linked to below, there is a question. Can you use a regular USB to store your coins instead of the industry standard USB wallets?
A regular USB instead of a USB wallet.
Yeah, that guy might want to.
A hardware wallet that connects USB, I think he means. Yes, you can do that. You could take your private key and you can encrypt them and then store them on a USB. I have never done that. I don't know the, all the little ins and outs of it, so I can't advise anybody on that. But yes, don't trust verify. Go research it yourself and look up all the information you can on that before attempting that.
All right, and I wanted to say that I link below to a site, btcforkmonitor.info, and that's just monitoring if the other guys are going to fork off. Again, this Bitcoin cat, but I mean, people want to know about that type of thing. I try not to worry. I am not worried at all, first of all. But this Bitcoin Cash rumor obviously is creating some FUD, but I mean, that's what it's there to do. They want to create they want to create leverage, and again, people are saying, hey, pull all your coins off exchanges because there might be a hard fork on. You shouldn't keep your coins on exchanges anyway. So I think people pulling their coins off of exchanges is great. I think this is great news. I think that's bullish. That's a very bullish aspect of what's going on out there. But so there's a guy making videos, and I mentioned him in my video yesterday. And he's known in the Twitter community, Ryan X Charles, and I linked to his video from yesterday below, where he says Asicboost is a conspiracy theory, and he thinks that Craig Wright is the most likely person to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And this guy is taken very seriously, Ryan X Charles. He is the guy who is behind, and I told everyone to boycott his site that hasn't started yet, yours.org, which is going to be a competitor with Steemit eventually. But I wanted Rocky to discuss Asicboost on that end. Is it a conspiracy theory?
Well, it's hard to prove. There's no way I know of to prove anybody's using it. Once Greg Maxwell found that it was in the chips when he reverse engineered chips from I think it was a S7 or S9 miner. Once we found it was there, I mean, it would take a lot of R&D to put that code in there. That's a lot of money to get it in there and then to not use it. Boy, that's a lot of money for nothing now. And the way they were so against SegWit for what seemed to be no good reason, you got to kind of put two and two together. And, unless you're on the inside, you really don't know for sure. But as far as everybody on the outside and the best minds trying to figure this out, it's most likely that they are using it to some degree.
Okay. So what else did you think about that video linked to below that people can check out by Ryan X Charles? Again, I'm not trying to spread any FUD. I want everyone to see what the other side is saying and some other things that they believe. Is, personally, I mean, he speaks in a normal tone and everything, but then some of the things he says are just way out there, and I don't see how anyone can be cheery. He wants there to be a hard fork. I don't see how anyone can want this. And then when I see the person who wants the hard fork start saying that Craig Wright is, he's most likely Satoshi. I mean, I'm just like, okay, this is starting to make sense. These people are just, they're wacky. Well,
I don't think he has a very good understanding of how the Bitcoin network actually works. And he's kind of following these people that they don't really know how it works either, and they want weird things to happen that really shouldn't be happening. I mean, Core has gotten us this far so far. I mean, they've gotten us 8.5 years without any major problems with Bitcoin. It's had 100% uptime for 8.5 years. I mean, to take Core and accuse them of doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or wanting to upgrade that is not a good upgrade, there's just no evidence of that. And him saying that, you know, he talked about Tone and Eric Lombroso as if I don't know, he was kind of insinuating that they didn't really know what they were talking about, where fake Satoshi, we all know who that is, fake Satoshi does. And fake Satoshi knows the real way. And what he did say was that he believes that Satoshi Nakamoto is a group of people, and Craig Wright, fake Satoshi, is the leader of that group.
Well, I also want to say, he said Tone Vays is a bit at least in the video I linked to, which is yesterday's, he said, I'll be debating Tone Vays, who's a Bitcoin trader. Well, Tone Vays is not a Bitcoin. He doesn't even, I mean, so he doesn't know as much as he says he knows, this dude, because you wouldn't call Tone Vays a Bitcoin trader. He's, on all Tone's videos, he says, I do not trade, I mean, he talks about it, but he's not, he is not a Bitcoin trader, definitely.
Yes, he did. I'm sorry. He did make another video today. And in this video, he talks about, oh, I should have queued it up. In this video, he talks about a Lightning Network transaction. He talks about Bitcoin scaling and how we have to increase the block size to scale, which we do, but we just don't need it too big right now. And if you want me to go into the reasons why, I can explain that if you want me to. But
yeah, real quick, actually, do go into that, to tell you the truth. But no, you were going to say something else too.
Okay. But so in Bitcoin, the way he was talking about Bitcoin needs to scale, and then he switched to a Lightning transaction. He started talking about a Lightning transaction and said that you could never do enough Lightning transaction in a 1 meg block to scale for everybody around the world when there's mass adoption. Well, this just shows you he doesn't know how Bitcoin works, because a Lightning transaction is off chain. It doesn't matter how big or small the block size is. It has nothing to do with the block size, because Lightning transactions are off chain. They're within the Bitcoin protocol on another layer on top of Bitcoin. So what he said just didn't make any sense at all.
Okay, and I want to say this talk about Bitcoin Cash, this coin that's coming out of China or whatever. It's an altcoin. If they do it, it's an altcoin. Just because it has the name Bitcoin in it, there's a lot of altcoins that have the name Bitcoin in it. I want to stress that to everybody. Keep supporting BIP148 user-activated software, and keep referring to whatever the latest FUD coin is as an altcoin. So we don't, because the other side want us to play into their hands, get worried, the price to drop, to legitimize whatever altcoin they're trying to produce. So if the world just thinks of it as an altcoin, there's no problem, and there's going to be no problem. There is not going to be a contentious hard fork into Bitcoin. That is my opinion. What do you expect a contentious hard fork? Do you expect a price pump? What do you expect with hoarding and these next few weeks?
Well, I think this BCC is going nowhere. I mean, it's I don't know. It's some kind of attempt to create confusion, which is exactly what that guy was talking about that you sent me. I mean, the things he said didn't make any sense. It just creates more confusion, more FUD, and I don't know. I think they're trying to lower the price of Bitcoin so they could buy more Bitcoin, so that when the price does go up, they could have more Bitcoin when it's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. You
know, I was thinking about that last night too. I was thinking about the same thing. Just like, it's becoming pretty obvious that maybe they're suppressing the price. They're still mining it. Maybe they're hoarding it. They're just trying to buy more too, and just waiting, stretching this thing out as long as possible to accumulate as much as they can, so that eventually they're just going to let loose when they see the price spiking, and they're going to make tremendous profits. I mean, again, I've said many times, in the long run, they're going to do what's financially best for them. That's the bottom line of them. Creating some weird altcoin that nobody uses and creating a contentious hard fork, that doesn't help them in the long run. But maybe they've got some plan we can't even think of. I don't want to get into. I'm not getting into conspiracies or anything. But it's just like every Friday there's fodder. Every Sunday there's a new rumor coming from these guys, and it just comes to a point like, what are you dudes doing even now? What are you even doing? And again, I'm giving that guy. I'm giving him attention because Ryan X Charles. I'm giving Ryan X Charles attention because he is on Twitter. He is known. I'm not trying to scare anyone there. I'm just trying to logically and analyze some of what he's saying and show that he's talking craziness, and that to say that Craig Wright is most likely the Satoshi as a leading candidate is just completely, it does not give you very much legitimacy at all, I think. So sorry about that rambling on. So you also think that perhaps that something like that is going on, whether it's just trying to suppress the price. Okay. Anyway, anything you're about to say something.
I had some bad luck on the price too, because a few weeks ago it went up to like 2,900, and then it started coming back down, right? And so every time it would come down a couple $100, of course, I see that as a coupon, buying Bitcoin with a coupon or a blue light special, right? So every couple $100, I just buy some more. I mean, because the price is down, and I'm expecting 5,000, possibly 5,000 next year, and by the end of 2020, 10,000 at least. I'm thinking. So any price under 3,000 is a bargain by my standards. So last weekend, I believe it was Sunday, it went down to just under 1,900 for a brief time. It went to like 1,890 something. But I was out of it that way. All last weekend, I had like some kind of summer flu bug. I was barfing my guts out all weekend, and I missed that drop. And it wasn't until I didn't come back amongst the living until it was back up to about 2,200. And that was my last buy, so I didn't feel like buying anymore at that point. But I did buy like all the way down. I just keep buying the drops. When it drops, I buy.
People are asking me, should I sell all my Bitcoin? No, you shouldn't sell any of your Bitcoin, people. That's someone in the chat said, first rule of Bitcoin, never sell. Yeah, don't panic sell. That is the first rule of Bitcoin. Pound that like button for the guy who said that, and pound that like button if you're enjoying this laid back conversation with Rocky straight out of Southern California. You're gonna say, Rocky.
Yeah, just keep adding to your position. That's what I do. I add to my position, my Bitcoin holdings. There is some point. I mean, you can't buy forever. There is some goal that you might have, whether it's 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, $1 million, where you're going to start to spend or cash out some of your holdings. You got to have your plan, but you got to stick to your plan. Now, look at all this gray hair. I'm old. Okay. I'm not a young guy like you. I can't wait for $1 million Bitcoin. But as much as I'd love to, but I have my plan, and I'm going to stick to it.
Another person said first rule of Bitcoin is hold. Yeah, that actually is a good one. Hold at least until 2020, people. 2020 halving. All right, we're getting toward the end of the show here. Rocky, is there any other you're good with this simplifying some of these technical things behind Bitcoin? Is there anything else you wanted to add, about cold storage, all this stuff that we've covered today?
Well,
the floor is yours.
How about the SegWit 2X?
Sure. What do you want to say about it?
As a single unit. What I think this is, the SegWit 2X with the 2X tied to it, this is the new Asicboost, because it gives the concentration of miners, which is in Asia right now, the Chinese miners, it gives them an advantage to have bigger blocks, because like what I was going to touch on earlier when I said if you wanted me to explain why bigger blocks are bad for the network, it creates more orphans. And when you're closer to the source of the last pool that found the last block, you get to start mining the next block a few fractions of a second faster than people on the other side of the world who are mining. So this gives you this little boost, or this little extra mining that you've done before they started, because they're still mining. They haven't found out, they haven't been notified yet because of the way all the information has to propagate through all the nodes around the world. You have to wait till it gets to the other side. Or if you're on the other side from where the last block was found, you have to wait till it gets to you, basically. But if you're on the side where it was found, where most of them are found in China, because that's where most of the mining power is, now you're near the source of the last find, and so you find out that that block was found out quicker, and you could start the next block quicker. And so this gives you this little bit of advantage. So this is why I think they're tying the 2 meg hard fork to the SegWit, because they're giving up their Asicboost, and this is their new substitution for this. With the bigger blocks, the more will increase the orphan rate, which is good for you if you're near where the concentration of the mining comes from. You know, the geographical location.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go, people. He put it out there. All right. Well, is there anything else we forgot to cover? Anything else you want to say? Don't seem to be any more questions. People have been behaving themselves in the chat, which is nice to see. So
that's good. Thanks, people in the chat.
No, so no other no additional information you want to share, Rocky. The floor is yours.
I'm looking through my notes. I don't think so.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this today. And it's always great to have Rocky on the show. He talks about things that I don't talk about. He knows a lot of things, and people really like it. So his contact information is below in the notes section. Always check out the notes section below. You can get discounts on the t-shirts and the storage devices. And remember, I post a new video here every day, even on the weekends, and even when it's already turned Monday here in Australia. But it's still Sunday out where you guys are. Thanks a lot, everyone who tuned in today. Rocky, anything else? Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, if you're in the Southern California area and you would like to come to one of our meetups, the next one is August 9th, Wednesday. And you can get my email address below to ask for more info. Just ask to be added to the user group mailing list. Awesome. Well, pound that like button, everybody. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the notes section below. Bye for now. I'll say hello to everyone in the chat very quickly. Bye-bye. All right.